Hey vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. Today's video, I'm going to do 15 albums from my collection, and this is going to be all 1960s. So let's get started. First up, this is The Doors, Strange Days from 1967. This is a Rhino reissue of the mono edition. I believe this came out a few years ago on Record Store Day, but I found this in a used bin. But really good, classic Doors album. Great songs on here: Strange Days, Your Lost Little Girl, Love Me Two Times, Horse Latitude, Moonlight Drive. You all know this album. Great album. One of the best albums from the 60s. The Doors, Strange Days. Up next, this is the Kinks, Face to Face. This is from 1966. Really good stuff. I love the Kinks. I love just about everything they've done. This one has Party Line, Rosie Won't You Please Come Home, Dandy, which was covered by Herman's Hermits, Too Much on My Mind, Rainy Day in June, Holiday in Waikiki, and Sunny Afternoon, which was the hit off of this. Great song, great summer song from the Kinks. But great album. If you don't know about the Kinks Face to Face album, check it out. It's really, really good. Up next, this is The Who, My Generation. This was their first album. This is a reissue from 1980 on the Virgin label. This is in mono, and this sounds fantastic. I have a US version of this album with a different cover and stereo, and it sounds pretty good, but man, this album in mono just really kicks it. You know, if you haven't heard the mono version of this, check it out. It's really good. Everything is up front and punchy, and it just sounds great. So yeah, The Who, My Generation. Up next, this is Traffic, Mr. Fantasy. I believe this is their first album. This is a reissue from the late 70s. It's on this more modern United Artists label from the late 70s, but excellent album. Traffic is a great band, and this is such a good album. Songs like Paper Sun, really psyche, so good. Colored Rain, Hole in My Shoe, Heaven is in Your Mind, Smiling Phases, Dear Mr. Fantasy, all so good. Traffic, Mr. Fantasy, their debut album, I believe. And up next, this is Spirit. This is their first album from 1967. Really good. Songs like Fresh Garbage, Uncle Jack, Mechanical World. There's a song on here called Taurus, and it uncannily sounds like the opening chords to Stairway to Heaven. So I know that a lot of people have done videos, maybe not people from the vinyl community, but I've seen videos on YouTube about comparing this song to Led Zeppelin's Houses of, or Stairway to Heaven. But yeah, Excellent album, excellent debut from Spirit. Great songs on here. Uh, I told you some of them already, but yeah, really good debut from Spirit from 1967. Up next, this is Super Sessions with Mike Bloomfield, Al Cooper, and Stephen Stills. This came out in 1968. This is really good. It's a jam session. First side features Mike Bloomfield with Al Cooper, and they do a few originals and some covers. They do a cover of Curtis Mayfield's Man's Temptation, which is really good, and they do a song called Stop, which I'm not sure where that is, but it's not an original by them. And then side two is Steve Stills and Al Cooper, and they do a Dylan cover, It Takes a Lot to Laugh, It Takes a Train to Cry, and they also cover Donovan's Season of the Witch, and Willie Cobb's You Don't Love Me. But yeah, really good, excellent guitar work from Mike Bloomfield and Stephen Stills. So good. If you haven't heard this album, check it out. It's a really good album. Super Sessions. Up next, this is the Lemon Drops, Sun Shower Flower Power. Yeah, Sun Shower Flower Power. This came out probably in the early 2000s sometimes, but the recordings on here are made between 1967 and 1968. And look at these guys. Look how young they are. They're just a bunch of kids. But man, this stuff is really good. It's like garage psych. Especially their song I Live in the Springtime is so good. Everything, for this being by a bunch of teenagers, this is a great album. Really good. If you don't know about the Lemon Drops, check it out. It's a great album. Up next, this is the Little Boy Blues, In the Woodland of Weir. This is originally from 1968. This is a reissue on Granadilla Music. This also contains like 9 extra songs that weren't on the original album. But pretty good stuff. Kind of garagey. They do, what is it? They do a Season of the Witch, which a lot of people have done. Ain't Too Proud to Beg. I Can Only Give You Everything, which is a song by them. And the other stuff is all originals, but pretty good, like garagey blues, a little bit of psych thrown in, but really good stuff from Little Boy Blues. This band's turned up on a few of those psych compilations that I have. Yeah, really good stuff from Little Boy Blues, In the Woodland of Weir. Up next, this is Jethro Tull, their first album, This Was. Yeah, this is great. Early Jethro Tull was like a lot more bluesy than they later became. They went into a more hard rock direction, but the first album, man, it's really good. If you like the English electric blues, good album to check out. But really good stuff from Jethro Tull. This was a great album. Up next, this is Harvey Mandel, Cristo Redentor. Really good. I wasn't too familiar with Harvey Mandel, and I mean, I had heard the name, but I didn't really know about his music. And then I found this album like for $5, and I decided to pick it up. And it's really, really good. Since then, I've picked up a couple more of his albums, but really good guitarist. Kind of bluesy at times, lots of psych in here, but it's a great album. If you don't know about Harvey Mandel, check this one out. Cristo Redentor by Harvey Mandel. This is from 1968. Up next, this is The Mothers of Invention. We're only in it for the money. This is a reissue from probably just a few years ago. It says 2008, so longer than a few years ago. But yeah, this is the way that Zappa originally intended the album to look like. But the record company was afraid that the Beatles would sue, because I think this was like the first album to do a Sgt. Pepper parody on the cover, and they were kind of afraid that the Beatles or their management or record label may sue, so they just reversed the images. But now this is how it originally was intended by Zappa. Great album. It's also, the only thing I don't like about this is it's a picture disc, but it doesn't sound bad. It's really cool there. I wanted it because it's in mono. I just like having a stereo and mono copy of classic albums. Yeah, and it also came with this, the cutouts. They're like a little nipple and Zappa-like mustache and goatee, and a badge there. So yeah, pretty cool. I wanted to hear this in mono, so I figured, I'll grab it because I really like this album a lot. But yeah, there you go. This is a Record Store Day version of We're Only in It for the Money from Frank Zappa and Mothers of Invention. Great album. Up next, this is Pearls Before Swine. This is their first album from 1967. This, I guess you would classify this as acid folk. Kind of mellow in places, but it's pretty good. I like it a lot. Songs like Another Time, Playmate, Ballad to an Amber Lady, Oh Dear Miss Morse, Dropout, Uncle John, I Shall Not Care, The Surrealist Waltz. Really good. Kind of a quirky band. Tom Rapp's vocals are really distinctive, but really good stuff. I love that cover. It's part of a painting by a Renaissance painter, Hieronymus Bosch. It's part of a 3-panel painting he made called The Garden of Earthly Delights. It depicted heaven, earth, and hell, and this was the hell. But really good stuff from Pearls Before Swine, their first album. Check it out if you don't know about it. Up next, this is Simon and Garfunkel, Bookends. This is from 1968. This is really good. Folky. They do Save the Life of My Child, Overs, Old Friends, America, which is really good. It was covered by Yes on their first album. And Mrs. Robinson, the song that was featured in the movie The Graduate. But great album from Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah, I found this pretty cheap. This is on the Columbia 2i. It's in excellent shape. And let's see if I can get it out here. It comes with this poster. Kind of cool. I like getting stuff like that in albums, in old albums. But yeah, great album from Simon and Garfunkel. This album holds a lot of good memories for me. I was turned on to this by my older sister. I had a sister, she was like 14 years older than me. So like when I was a teenager, she was like in her late 20s. And she was turning me on to all kinds of good music. And this is one of the albums that she turned me on to. But great stuff from Simon and Garfunkel, Bookends. A few more here. This one is Shadows of Night, Backdoor Men. This is great. I like this album better than their first album. It's got really good songs on it. Bad Little Woman, Gospel Zone, The Behemoth, Hey Joe, yet another version of Hey Joe, I'll Make You Sorry. They do a cover of Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day, which was a song by the Monkees. And they also do a cover of Spoonful, the Willie Dixon song that was covered by Cream. But really good stuff. Garage, bluesy, little bit of Stones attitude, but really good. Backdoor Men by the Shadows of Night. And the last one here, this is a Rolling Stones compilation from Japan. This is really good. I don't know if you can see that. Everything's written in Japanese. It also, well, it was on this London label. Really cool. And it comes with a lyric sheet. And there's all the albums that are available, the Japanese versions of all their albums. But yeah, great stuff from the Stones. Everybody knows Rolling Stones. I like the picture on the cover here from their 60s Flower Power era. And then the back cover features mid-70s. Yeah, mid-70s. There's Ronnie. But yeah, great stuff. This has a good selection of their songs. Early stuff like Come On, Tell Me, Time Is On My Side, Last Time, Heart of Stone, Satisfaction. And then it goes into like their mid-60s stuff, Ruby Tuesday, Let's Spend the Night Together, Dandelion, We Love You. And it goes into like Jumpin' Jack Flash, Street Fighting Man, Sympathy for the Devil, Honky Tonk Women, and Let It Bleed. So between like 64 and 69 is a song selection. But great stuff. This sounds excellent. Japanese pressing sounds so good. And this is no different. It sounds great. Yeah, the Rolling Stones. This doesn't really have a title. It's just called the Rolling Stones. But great stuff. You all know the Rolling Stones. Great album. Okay, so that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed that. I want to thank people who commented and also people who subscribed in the last couple of weeks. So thanks for that, and I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're staying cool. Hope you're listening to great records and enjoying your summer. So take it easy, VC, and we'll see you later.